Welcome. Today, we're diving into the topic of unauthorized occupancy, a term you might have heard in the context of property management or real estate. Unauthorized occupancy refers to situations where someone occupies a property without the legal right or permission from the owner or landlord. This can happen in residential, commercial, or even industrial spaces. Understanding what constitutes unauthorized occupancy is important for both property owners and tenants, as it can have legal and financial consequences. In this video, we'll break down the key aspects of unauthorized occupancy, explore common scenarios, and discuss what steps can be taken if you encounter this issue. Let's start by defining the term in more detail. Unauthorized occupancy occurs when an individual or group lives in or uses a property without the legal right to do so. This means they have not signed a lease, do not have the owner's consent, or have overstayed their welcome after a lease is ended. It's important to distinguish unauthorized occupants from legal tenants, as the rights and responsibilities are very different. Unauthorized occupancy can lead to disputes, potential eviction, and even legal action. By understanding the definition, property owners and tenants can better protect their interests and avoid misunderstandings. There are several common scenarios where unauthorized occupancy might occur. For example, someone might stay in a rental property after their lease has expired without renewing it or obtaining the landlord's permission. In other cases, a friend or relative of a tenant may move in without being added to the lease agreement. Sometimes, people may even break into vacant properties and live there without any arrangement with the owner. Each of these situations can create complications for both the property owner and the unauthorized occupant. Unauthorized occupancy can happen for a variety of reasons. Sometimes, it's simply due to a misunderstanding or lack of communication between tenants and landlords. Other times, it may be intentional, such as when someone is trying to avoid paying rent or is taking advantage of a vacant property. Economic hardship, homelessness, or family emergencies can also lead people to occupy spaces without proper authorization. Understanding the motivations behind unauthorized occupancy can help property owners address the issue more effectively and with empathy. The legal implications of unauthorized occupancy can be significant. Property owners have the right to control who lives in or uses their property, and unauthorized occupants may be subject to eviction. In many jurisdictions, the process for removing an unauthorized occupant involves legal proceedings, which can be time-consuming and costly. On the other hand, unauthorized occupants may have certain rights, especially if they have lived in the property for an extended period. It's important for both parties to understand their legal standing and seek professional advice if needed. While unauthorized occupancy and trespassing may seem similar, there are important differences. Trespassing typically refers to entering or remaining on someone else's property without permission, often for a short period. Unauthorized occupancy, on the other hand, involves living in or using a property over a longer duration, sometimes with the initial consent that has since expired. Understanding this distinction is crucial, as the legal remedies and consequences can vary depending on the situation. Squatting is a specific type of unauthorized occupancy where someone occupies an abandoned or unoccupied property without the owner's permission. Squatters may live in the property for months or even years, and in some cases, they may attempt to claim legal rights to the property through adverse possession. Squatting can be a complex legal issue, and property owners should be aware of local laws regarding squatters' rights and the proper procedures for removal. Another common form of unauthorized occupancy involves tenants who remain in a property after their lease has expired or been terminated. These individuals are sometimes called holdover tenants. Depending on local laws, landlords may need to go through a formal eviction process to remove holdover tenants, even if they no longer have a valid lease. It's important for landlords to follow the correct legal procedures to avoid potential complications. Sometimes, unauthorized occupancy occurs when a tenant allows someone else to live in the property without the landlord's approval. This could be a friend, partner, or family member who moves in and stays for an extended period. Most lease agreements require tenants to get permission before adding new occupants. Failing to do so can violate the lease and result in penalties or eviction. Unauthorized occupancy can create a range of challenges for property owners. These include loss of rental income, increased wear and tear on the property, and potential legal fees associated with eviction. Owners may also face difficulties in selling or refinancing a property that is occupied without authorization. It's essential for property owners to regularly inspect their properties and maintain clear communication with tenants to prevent unauthorized occupancy. For those occupying a property without permission, there are significant risks. Unauthorized occupants can be evicted, sometimes with little notice, and may be held liable for damages or unpaid rent. In some cases, they could face criminal charges, especially if they enter the property unlawfully. It's important for anyone considering staying in a property without authorization to understand these risks and seek legal advice if necessary. A well-drafted lease agreement is the first line of defense against unauthorized occupancy. Lease agreements typically include clauses that specify who is allowed to live in the property and outline the process for adding new occupants. By clearly defining these terms, landlords can reduce the risk of unauthorized occupancy and have a stronger legal position if issues arise. Screening tenants thoroughly before signing a lease can help prevent unauthorized occupancy. This process may include background checks, credit checks, and verifying references. By selecting responsible tenants and maintaining open communication, landlords can minimize the likelihood of unauthorized occupants moving in. Conducting regular property inspections is another effective way to detect and prevent unauthorized occupancy. Landlords should schedule periodic visits, as allowed by law and the lease agreement, to ensure that only authorized tenants are living in the property. These inspections can also help identify maintenance issues early and foster a positive landlord-tenant relationship. Open and honest communication between landlords and tenants is key to preventing unauthorized occupancy. Landlords should clearly explain the rules regarding occupancy and encourage tenants to ask questions if they're unsure about any aspect of the lease. By fostering a cooperative relationship, both parties can work together to avoid misunderstandings and potential conflicts. If a landlord suspects unauthorized occupancy, they must follow legal notice requirements before taking action. This typically involves providing written notice to the occupant, outlining the violation, and giving them an opportunity to respond or correct the issue. The specific notice period and procedures vary by jurisdiction, so it's important to consult local laws. Evicting an unauthorized occupant usually requires following a formal legal process. This may include filing a complaint with the local court, attending a hearing, and obtaining an eviction order. Landlords should avoid taking matters into their own hands, such as changing locks or removing belongings, as this can lead to legal trouble. Instead, they should work within the legal system to resolve the issue. Some landlords may be tempted to use self-help methods to remove unauthorized occupants, such as changing locks or shutting off utilities. However, these actions are often illegal and can result in penalties or lawsuits. It's always best to follow the proper legal procedures to ensure a fair and lawful resolution. Law enforcement may become involved in cases of unauthorized occupancy, especially if there is evidence of criminal activity, such as breaking and entering. However, in most civil cases, police will not remove occupants without a court order. It's important for property owners to understand when to involve law enforcement and when to pursue civil remedies. Adverse possession is a legal doctrine that allows someone to claim ownership of a property if they have occupied it openly and continuously for a certain period without the owner's permission. While this is rare, it can happen if property owners are not vigilant. Understanding adverse possession laws in your area can help prevent unwanted claims to your property. Prevention is always better than cure. Landlords can take several steps to prevent unauthorized occupancy, such as conducting thorough tenant screenings, using clear lease agreements, performing regular inspections, and maintaining good communication. By being proactive, property owners can reduce the risk of unauthorized occupants and protect their investment. Unauthorized occupancy can affect property insurance coverage. Some policies may not cover damages caused by unauthorized occupants, or may even be voided if the property is not properly secured. Property owners should review their insurance policies and speak with their agents to ensure they have adequate protection. It's important to note that not all unauthorized occupants are without rights. In some cases, individuals may have legal protections, especially if they have lived in the property for a long time or have paid rent. Landlords must be careful to respect these rights and follow due process to avoid legal complications. If you're dealing with unauthorized occupancy, it's wise to consult a legal professional. Lawyers who specialize in real estate or landlord-tenant law can provide guidance on the best course of action, help draft notices, and represent you in court if necessary. Legal assistance can save time, money, and stress in the long run. In some cases, mediation or negotiation can resolve unauthorized occupancy issues without going to court. Mediation involves a neutral third party who helps both sides reach an agreement. This approach can be faster, less expensive, and less stressful than litigation, making it a good option for many disputes. Keeping detailed records is essential when dealing with unauthorized occupancy. Landlords should document all communications, notices, and actions taken. This documentation can be invaluable if the situation escalates to legal proceedings, providing evidence of the landlord's efforts to resolve the issue properly. Enhancing property security can help prevent unauthorized occupancy. This may include installing better locks, security cameras, or alarm systems. Regularly checking on vacant properties and responding quickly to suspicious activity can also deter unauthorized occupants. Vacant properties are particularly vulnerable to unauthorized occupancy. Without regular oversight, these properties can attract squatters or vandals. Property owners should take extra precautions, such as securing entrances, maintaining the exterior, and visiting the property regularly to deter unauthorized use. Raising community awareness about unauthorized occupancy can help prevent issues. Neighbors who are alert to unusual activity can notify property owners or authorities, helping to address problems early. Community watch programs and neighborhood associations can play a valuable role in keeping properties secure. Modern technology offers new ways to prevent and detect unauthorized occupancy. Smart locks, security cameras, and remote monitoring systems allow property owners to keep an eye on their properties from anywhere. These tools can provide peace of mind and help catch unauthorized occupants early. Property managers can be instrumental in preventing and addressing unauthorized occupancy. They handle tenant screening, property inspections, and communication, ensuring that only authorized individuals occupy the property. Hiring a professional property manager can save time and reduce the risk of unauthorized occupancy. Many local governments offer resources to help property owners deal with unauthorized occupancy. These may include legal aid services, informational websites, and hotlines. Taking advantage of these resources can make the process of resolving unauthorized occupancy smoother and more efficient. Unauthorized occupancy is not just a local issue, it happens worldwide. Different countries have varying laws and approaches to dealing with unauthorized occupants. Understanding these differences can be helpful for property owners with international holdings or those interested in global real estate trends. Let's look at a case study involving a residential property. A landlord discovers that a former tenant has allowed a friend to move in after the lease ended. The new occupant refuses to leave, and the landlord must go through the legal eviction process. This scenario highlights the importance of clear lease terms and regular property checks. In a commercial context, unauthorized occupancy can occur when a business sublets space without the landlord's approval. This can complicate lease agreements and create legal headaches for all parties involved. Landlords should include clear subletting clauses in commercial leases and monitor their properties closely. Unauthorized occupancy isn't limited to buildings, it can also happen on vacant land. For example, someone might set up a temporary structure or park vehicles on land they don't own. Property owners should regularly inspect vacant land and post clear signage to deter unauthorized use. The financial consequences of unauthorized occupancy can be severe. Property owners may lose rental income, incur legal fees, and face costs for repairs or cleanup. In some cases, unauthorized occupants may cause significant damage, further increasing expenses. Being proactive can help minimize these financial risks. Dealing with unauthorized occupancy can be emotionally taxing for both property owners and occupants. Owners may feel violated or stressed, while occupants may be facing difficult personal circumstances. Approaching the situation with empathy and professionalism can help resolve conflicts more effectively. Long-term solutions to unauthorized occupancy involve a combination of legal, practical, and community-based strategies. These include updating lease agreements, investing in security, building strong tenant relationships, and staying informed about local laws. By taking a comprehensive approach, property owners can better protect their assets. Tenants who are unsure about their rights or facing eviction due to unauthorized occupancy should seek help from tenant advocacy groups or legal aid organizations. These resources can provide valuable information and support, helping tenants understand their options and protect their rights. Landlords can benefit from joining professional associations, attending workshops, and networking with other property owners. These resources offer guidance on best practices, legal updates, and support for dealing with unauthorized occupancy and other challenges. To sum up, unauthorized occupancy is a complex issue that affects property owners and occupants alike. It can arise in many forms, from squatting to unapproved roommates, and carries legal, financial, and emotional consequences. Prevention, clear communication, and following legal procedures are the best ways to address unauthorized occupancy. Whether you're a property owner, tenant, or simply interested in real estate, understanding unauthorized occupancy is essential. By staying informed, taking preventive measures, and seeking professional help when needed, you can navigate this challenging issue with confidence and protect your interests. If you'd like to learn more about unauthorized occupancy, consider exploring resources from local housing authorities, legal aid organizations, and real estate professionals. Staying up to date on laws and best practices can help you avoid problems and make informed decisions about property management. Thank you for joining us as we explored the topic of unauthorized occupancy. We hope this video has provided valuable insights and practical tips for dealing with this important issue. Remember, knowledge is power, stay informed, and take action to protect your property and your rights.